We have some pretty shocking breaking news. If you thought tensions were already high between the Trump administration and the judiciary, it just dramatically escalated because the Trump FBI has just arrested a Wisconsin judge at her own courthouse for allegedly obstructing immigration enforcement. And Attorney General Pam Bondi just went on Fox News to boast about it. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Yep, not sure what to say about this, folks. Pretty shocking stuff and potentially extremely authoritarian and dangerous. FBI arrests Wisconsin judge for obstruction of ICE agents, according to Kash Patel. We'll get into the clips of Attorney General Bondi on Fox News in just a second. This tweet was originally made by FBI Director Kash Patel and then deleted. Just now, the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week. We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot and he's been in custody since, but the judge's obstruction created an increased danger to the public. We will have more to share soon. Excellent work at FBI Milwaukee. Then, Attorney General Pam Bondi issued this tweet on social media. She says, "I can confirm that our FBI agents have arrested Hannah Dugan, a county judge in Milwaukee, for allegedly helping an illegal alien avoid arrest by ICE. No one is above the law." Ironic statement coming from people who cultishly delighted themselves after Donald Trump was awarded presidential immunity by the Supreme Court. They love that. Oh, hell yeah, please make Donald Trump above the law. But nobody else, apparently. Interesting. So we're going to play some clips of Pam Bondi's appearance on Fox News where she's flexing and bragging about this, clearly salivating at the notion of targeting judges, and we'll unpack it together.
See these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer. What is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her. It was a domestic violence case of all cases, and she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime.
In fact, she just
See these.
So that's one clip. We're going to tee up the next one. Again, she's very happy about it. Here's another clip where she seems to basically declare war on the judiciary.
Madam
What's
Attorney
happened to our judiciary is beyond me.
Yeah, so when the American public hears this and they think these were once upstanding people in their communities and their professions, and they put it all on the line for this, I mean, have you dug into their motive? Like, what inspired them to carry out these acts and harbor criminals?
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe. I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are giving a TDA member guns, anyone who is illegally in this country, we will come after you and we will prosecute you. We will find you.
if I could just...
Again, not shy about it at all. Seems to be taking a victory lap over this. And of course, Fox News, Sandra Smith there just buying in totally into the allegations, not much by way of evidence, like almost like state media at this point. Like, what do you say to these terrible, awful people who are doing things because you're so perfect and amazing and obviously your motives are pure and that we're taking everything you say at face value? What do you say to these people? Like, not even asking a critical question at all. This right here that you're about to hear from John Roberts is the closest thing in this conversation to a critical question from Fox News to the Attorney General.
If I could just finish off with this idea, very significant development that you're arresting judges now. Now, it could be that the judges have engaged in terribly bad behavior and deserve to be arrested. But you know what critics will say? They'll say, "Oh, this is a government that is expanding the powers of the Article 1 of the Constitution. Now they're arresting judges." How do you respond to that?
No one is above the law, John. No one is above the law in this country. And if you are destroying evidence, if you are obstructing justice, when you have victims sitting in a courtroom of domestic violence and you're escorting a criminal defendant out a back door, it will not be tolerated, and it is a crime in the United States of America. Doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be prosecuted.
Madam Attorney
Again, she says with a smile on her face, just making these allegations, no evidence as of yet to corroborate. We're definitely going to take a look at this Axios article, but I just want to say for the record, a couple of things. Do I have any inherent problem with judges being arrested if judges broke the law? No, I don't. As you know, and I've said this from the very beginning, particularly when the notion of presidential immunity came up, I am extremely allergic and aggravated at the notion that anybody in this country is afforded some sort of sweeping immunity. The Constitution does afford members of Congress, senators and House of Representatives, like congressmen and congresswomen, speech and debate immunities to prevent them from being arrested by a rogue executive. So there is specific immunity afforded to members of Congress under very specific circumstances. It's not like sovereign immunity or sweeping immunity. It's very specific. Besides that, I think that if you break the law in this country, you should be arrestable if the various authorities, the arresting authorities, can make a case against you. And that includes judges. That includes Supreme Court judges. That includes conservative Supreme Court judges. That includes this judge if she broke the law and the FBI can make a credible case against her. So again, I have no inherent issue with that. Now, I take issue with Pam Bondi going about this the way that she has, because again, I've not seen the evidence to indicate that the judge should have been arrested, number one. Number two, she's very gleeful about this. It's obvious that this is being used as a shot across the bow to the judiciary. Like, hey, be careful, watch yourself, because you could be arrested by the Trump administration. And no, I don't give the Trump administration the benefit of the doubt, because the Trump administration has done things in his first term, and certainly even now in his second term, 3 months in, that has squandered any good faith that a reasonable person would give it. We should not assume. We should not take any of this at face value. We should demand evidence, especially because the Trump administration has already, used its federal enforcement powers in punitive and unlawful ways. We've been discussing the unlawful deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, among others, right? So again, the Trump administration doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. And then, of course, my last frustration is the very same people who are, smugly peddling around that no one is above the law. They're doing it with a smile on their face because they do believe that people are above the law. Trump and people Trump likes. Everyone else, Trump's political opponents, Trump's critics, people that Trump believes are his political opponents or critics, then they're subject to law. But there's an exception made for Trump and people Trump likes, and it's just really gross. So let's look into the actual case itself, as reported by Axios. What to know about the Wisconsin judge arrested by the FBI. Hannah Dugan, a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge, was arrested by the FBI on Friday for allegedly trying to help an undocumented defendant avoid arrest. The big picture. The Wisconsin judge's arrest comes as the Trump administration ramps up its battle against the judicial branch and tests its executive power to enforce the president's immigration policies. Dugan, who has served nearly a decade on the court, was arrested on charges of obstruction of an immigration arrest operation, said FBI Director Kash Patel. She appeared briefly in federal court Friday following her arrest and was then released from custody, according to the Associated Press. Quote, Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not made in the interest of public safety, her lawyer, Craig, I'm going to butcher that last name, said during the hearing, per the Associated Press. Her next court appearance is scheduled for May 15th. Dugan is accused of trying to help an undocumented immigrant scheduled to appear in her courtroom avoid arrest by immigration officials. And then it quotes the tweet from Kash Patel that we read. Zoom in. In an email to judges, Chief Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Carl Ashley said immigration agents arrived at the county courthouse on April 18th with an arrest warrant, the Journal Sentinel reported earlier this week. Ashley's email did not mention Dugan or an FBI investigation into her conduct. His office did not immediately respond to Axios' request for comment. Dugan's background. Dugan was first elected to the Milwaukee County Circuit Court in 2016 and again in 2022. Prior to the post, she worked as a civil law attorney and as an executive director of Catholic Charities, a social service agency. Dugan taught law courses at Marquette University and Seattle University Law School. She graduated from the University of Wisconsin Law School in 1987. So again, in terms of her guilt, I'm refraining from judgment. The allegations are going to be made if they can be corroborated with evidence. In theory, I have no problem with this. But the bigger problem that I have is it sure seems like the Trump administration is flexing on the judicial branch. Again, making a spectacle out of this. Pam Bondi going on Fox News, again, effectively state media, state propaganda to celebrate and cheerlead this in a way we never saw former Attorney General Merrick Garland do with various arrests, including the arrest of Donald Trump and the prosecutions against Donald Trump at the time. So she's politicizing this. She continues to politicize this in gleeful, nefarious ways that I think merit criticism. This really is shocking stuff and potentially extremely dangerous. But again, I want to reiterate that nobody is above the law in this country, at least as far as I'm concerned. The Trump administration disagrees. They don't believe in that as a guiding principle. And so if judges break the law, they should be arrested if the law they break is arrestable and it doesn't violate any sort of courtroom immunity. Because to be clear, judges do have a form of legal immunity as well, for things that they say and do in their courtrooms. But this is where this is going to be tested, okay? It's not an absolute immunity by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm sure the Trump administration is trying to prepare for that because I'm sure that might be part of her challenge. But again, just keep going back to, we have no reason to take the Trump administration at face value. We have no reason to afford them any charity or good faith. They've long squandered that. And I think everybody should be looking at this with bated breath. This is really alarming and potentially quite dangerous. But we'll see. There you have it. The Trump administration is arresting judges, and we'll see what goes from there. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.